Hi, I'm Rothstein. I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed since about 2004 with photographic phantograms. That's when Steve Hughes at the NSA in Portland, Oregon had the first workshop on those. I attended and have been producing them ever since, pretty much non-stop. What we're going to do today is, I'm trying to say this is not that hard. Anybody can do this. There's some examples of phantograms there. On the table, there is a little green handout that maybe there's enough for everybody, and if not, it's not that big of a deal, because the information that's on the handout, I'll show you, it's on my website, and it's easy to get at, and you don't want to be sitting in here and typing URLs that have about 300 characters to try and get to a YouTube or Dropbox spot, but whereas I'll show you later that you can go right to my website and find those things, very easy links to three different workshops that I've done over the years, and 2 PDF files that explain how to do phantograms. If you don't know what a phantogram is, essentially it's a stereo image. The key to a phantogram is that you are taking out the effects of perspective. Every photograph almost anybody has ever seen, except for mine or phantograms or whatever else, are distorted by perspective. We're used to that in our photographs and whatever. The key to a phantogram is that you're removing the effects of perspective, and in doing so it makes the image more lifelike. Okay, what we're going to be doing is, for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, is shooting phantograms. So I invite you all to either take a look over here and see these, grab a handout. If you want, you could sign up for my image of the week. I send out a weekly image blog, usually one of my own images, occasionally someone else's.
Highly recommended.
Yes. Yeah, they tend to be fun. I try not to get political very often, although I get more comments when I do. And then I've got 6 shots here that I invite you to shoot, just to show that it's really not that hard or anybody can do it. I'm not going to use a stereo camera myself. You're welcome to shoot these with a stereo camera, or I'm going to be using a cell phone, just to say, okay, I can do this with any camera and anybody can do it. So I invite you to come over here. If you
So
can
Barry,
get...
those things are not going to run away when we do cha-cha?
It'll be good. It'll be good. So I invite you, please come over here and watch. I will demonstrate how to shoot a phantogram pretty simply. I'm going to do cha-cha shots in a couple of these, and then I invite you to shoot so that you have something to work on later. So gather around here and watch how I shoot them. It's really pretty simple. Everybody here knows what a cha-cha shot is, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got here this nice statuette of a buffalo.
Where'd you get that statue?
I stole it. I actually got permission from the kind folks at the desk. So, okay, I'm kind of coming in like so. Visually, I need my subject to fall entirely on the sheet of paper. So if I get down so low that the back of this buffalo is higher than it, that's not so good. Typically, you will put your subject toward the front of there, so like so, or toward the front or whatever. And again, a sheet of paper, any rectangle will do. I've got some white ones here. When you use white, you'll probably get more ghosting. When you use a little bit off-white, you'll probably get less. But I'm going to come here. I'm just going to take a cha-cha shot. So people that are smart do left and then right, so I'm going to try that approach. For years I did it the other way. And shoot, slide a little bit, shoot. Okay, then I'm going to try this one. I don't know if this is going to work or not, where there's an image on here. This is my dog show for the art gallery. But in the meantime, I thought it might be fun to do one. This is going to require doing a fairly steep angle to get both shots in. But I'm going to shoot, slide over. Oh, the dog changed, so that won't work. Okay, let's do this again. Shoot.
See, they are running away. They're running away.
Shoot. Okay, and then this is a really complex subject, a bag of pistachio shells. Peter ate 90% of the pistachios. So I'm going to take a shot. Oh, they're moving. Oh, okay. Shoot. Slide over. Shoot. Now, I invite you all, please take some cha-cha shots of these so that you have something to work on later. And if you have any questions, ask. I'm going to be here. You got 6 different subjects that you can shoot, so please take advantage of them and to shoot some shots.
I have 2 questions for you.
Yes.
I noticed you were holding your phone in landscape mode.
I was.
Is it easier that way?
I find, well, then I won't have to rotate them. I'm gonna work these in Stereo Photo Maker and in Photoshop, and I find that when I bring them into Stereo Photo Maker, they come in landscape mode.
Okay.
So then I don't have to rotate them.
Okay, and...
So good question.
And this is possible to do with a stereo camera?
Yes, you
I
can,
don't
yes,
have
by
to
all
put a
means,
touch
no,
on?
no,
Okay.
please, yeah. I'm doing it with this just as a demonstration that you don't even need a stereo camera. You don't need
Great.
anything. All you need is what we all walk around with all the time.
But for like the W3, isn't this too close? Isn't this too close?
No, I think that you can, if you're zoomed all the way out,
Oh,
yeah, I'd say, yeah, I think you can do
I
it
could
with
do
a
advanced
W3.
3D on,
Right,
on,
right.
on macro.
Like-
And you can use the 3D app.
You
the
can
stereo-
use stereo, you can use, I've done this, I do this frequently using the app on my cell phone, 3D
Did you say
Steroid
you have a
Pro.
macro? Okay, on here?
Yeah, if you put it in...
Objects, some real objects mixed in with them. And for those of you who know Phantograms, one of the fun things about them is that you can mix reality with the image, and it's pretty seamless. So, for instance, I had a pen cap inside here. You could put something even really tall, like that water bottle could sit right in there, and it'll seem like it's right in the bowl. Change works really good inside this one. So that's a fun thing with Phantograms, is putting some real things in on top of the images is often a lot of fun. But the objective of a Phantogram really is to imitate normal vision. I think the reason that Phantograms are so effective, that people really like them and have fun with them, is because you're seeing a 3D image pretty much the way we normally see things. It's a level of comfort, I find, that I'm making them the way you'd normally see it. And people, I do a lot of events here and there, and people really respond well to them. So take another few minutes to shoot, and then from there I'll show you how to work them. And again, I'm going to go, when I work them, we can take some questions, but I'm going to work pretty quickly. But there are, again, I'm going to point out to you some tutorials that you can find and get hold of very easily. And if you actually get into it and have any issues or questions, I'm an easy guy to get hold of. I will respond to emails. You call me in the middle of the night, I'll say, maybe tomorrow. But whatever the case, I'm very happy to work with people. I like sharing my knowledge on this. I like seeing other people shooting and doing this and getting into it. I find that there's a lot of power to an image where you're taking out the effects of perspective. Okay, it looks like people are done shooting, so let's here we go.
We needed a couple willing victims.
Okay. I'm going to turn down some of the lights now so that we could more easily see the screen. What we did, gentlemen, was set up some shots to be done over there, to make some Phantograms yourself, but when we break down, there will be time to do that too. So let's see, let's leave a little bit of light on here, but kill most of these. I just need a tiny bit to see the screen while I'm working. So, yeah, I think I can work with that. All right. So, and again, there are some handouts here. Now, the handouts are not all that critical.
There's a microphone on.
This is my website. Okay. Good. Okay. This is my website, 3ddigitalphoto.com. This is the home page of the website.
And everything pops up.
Yeah.
As soon as you put on
Yeah,
the
that
glass.
does. It's kind of fun with anaglyph glasses. You scroll down this far, and I just put on there this last week, online videos and tutorials on making Phantograms. So there are 3 videos of workshops that I have done in the last few years. And then these are PDF files here and here that are on my websites as well, but I decided let's put them all right here to make it easier to get to them all in one place. So I think I even have online here, I can show you what it looks like. This is my original Phantogram workshop, whatever the case, and then this is a more recent one, which is a workflow document. This also, I put this together for middle schoolers, so they're available and easy to get at, and all right here on the home page of my website. If you really like typing in lengthy, things with uppercase and lowercase letters and numbers and special symbols, then you can do that too. That's there. Now, let's go ahead and work the Phantograms. I'm going to start with Stereophoto Maker. So, and you can also do a lot of this too. You can work them, well, actually I'm not sure with 3D Steroid Pro. I won't say that, but Stereophoto Maker certainly. So I'm going to say File. I'm going to open the left and right images. And then I got to go to the folder where they're at. I created a folder for NSA Buffalo. Here's pics. And so, okay, here's our friendly buffalo. There. And yeah, they are arranged as left and right because I can't cross view them effectively.
So it's important to have the whole paper in the view, yes? So you can pick the corners?
Yeah.
It's important to have the whole paper in the view so you can pick the corners of it?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you take a look on here, it says adjust, and what we're going to do is it says easy create pop-up anaglyph. Now, a Phantogram doesn't have to be presented in anaglyph. They could be presented in parallel viewing and side-by-side viewing. There's certain advantages to presenting it in anaglyph, but easy create pop-up anaglyph, and it says Alt plus F. So what I do first is I'm going to zoom in. I'm just using my scroll bar. I want to be able to get to the corners, and I want to be able to see both corners pretty clearly. Okay, and again, they're a little bit offline. These are cha-cha shots, but in the meantime, okay, I've got both corners. They're pretty well zoomed in. So I'm going to hit down Alt F once. We do this 4 times. Alt F, and then you get this and this. It doesn't matter if you do the left and then the right, or the right and then the left. And I'll alternate it. But you kind of go to a corner, click, go to a corner in the other one. Doesn't matter if you do left side first, right side next. Okay, from this point on, I have a choice. I can either go clockwise or counterclockwise. for the sake of this exercise, I'll go clockwise. So I'm going to drag it down to this corner here, or up to this corner here with the grabber. And there's my next two. So I hit Alt-F a second time. And I can do this one. Doesn't matter which one you do first. And this one. Okay.
That one looks a bit blurrier than the other one.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's, again, it's, I don't know what to tell you. The way it was focused on my camera. This, you know, it's better to do it with the stereo camera. It's better to do it with a little bit more control. I guess I'm trying to demonstrate that you can get an acceptable image without having as much control as you really would like to have in a good shot. So I'm just, okay, Alt-F a third time. So click on that corner, come over, click on this corner. And then we have our fourth corner to get to. Okay, Alt-F a fourth time. And we click here, and then everything changes, and you end up getting this. All right, now, what I'll do is I'm going to come down here. My aspect ratio is 8.5 by 11, and I'll say apply. You get that. And then I will say OK. And generally, it's like, what happened? Where did it all go? So I'm going to kind of zoom out, and maybe I'll say I want it to fit, view, fit to window, whatever. It's, I kind of manipulate it around like this. At this point, I might do some cropping. I might not need all that paper. I don't really mind the, well, yeah, let's crop to, so free cropping, and I'll come to here, say, and here, and there is a left-right image. Okay, if you want to get your anaglyph glasses ready, we'll see how it came out. I don't have a pair in front of me, but whatever the case. Okay, let's do a color anaglyph. How's it looking? Okay, now, keep in mind, when you're shooting these, you're shooting from an angle. Right now, you're looking at them from more or less of a 90-degree angle, so that's not really your best way to see them. Ideally, you want to print them out and lay this on a tabletop, or you would like to look at it on a tablet or your cell phone or whatever else. And when you do that, you'll lay your cell phone kind of out flat, and you'll view this from an angle, and you should reach some life-size proportions. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so that, you know, it looks pretty good. All right, so that's how we do it in Stereo Photo Maker. Now let's go to Photoshop. Okay.
Barry?
Yes?
It made it as an anaglyph, but can you change it to side by side?
Yeah, go back to a, hold on a
So
second.
you don't have to, you don't have to keep it as an anaglyph. You gotta stop
No, it doesn't have to be an anaglyph at all. It can be a side-by-side image, and you can, if you want to cross-view it, here, how many of you can cross-view that?
I can.
Okay, so
Oh,
now you've got it as a cross-view
Yeah.
image.
Yeah.
And it's a good subject. That's actually a good subject because, for one, there's no red or blue to it. It's good for anaglyph, but it's good for, you know, it's a nice sharp object to use. But again, ideally, when you view it, you want to lay it flat in front of you and then be able to, you know, view it from an angle, whether you're free viewing it like this, or parallel free viewing it, or viewing it as an anaglyph. The idea is that you want to view it from more or less the same angle that you shot it. Okay, now let's work this in Photoshop. Open. Okay, we gotta find, it's on the desktop. And I say workshop, pics. Okay, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to do the bag of pistachios because I'm confident that that's going to work, or pistachio shells, and then we'll see what comes. And this is a fairly recent version of Photoshop. There will be a slight difference with older versions of Photoshop. Let's see now. So this is left and then right. In Photoshop, I think conceptually it's a little easier to see what you're doing, but in the newer version of Photoshop, this tool here is called a perspective crop tool. In previous versions of Photoshop, and I'll show you in this tutorial here, there's this is how the crop tool looked. Let me see, I was zoomed in on it before. Let's see if I can zoom in on it again. Where's my zoom tool? Oh, here we go. I could. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. That just goes up and down. Where's the zoom on here?
To the right.
Far right?
No, just, you see the hand?
Hand?
Right next to the hand to the right.
Oh, I see, right. Okay, let's go to about, and then let's pull it, what, I don't want to select it. Here's what in older versions of Photoshop, this is what the crop tool looks like. And it's about the third one down in the older versions. And when you select an area, like what we will do here, when you would select an area, with this one, I think the perspective crop tool became so popular because there's so many good uses for it that they gave it its own tool. But if you'd select it and highlight an area, what would end up happening is that you'd get a dialog box up here and there would be a perspective box that you would check. This version, it doesn't have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work both images independently. I put them more or less at the corners, but I want to do a little finer than that. Now let's make it as good as we can do. So I'm going to zoom in. So by hitting Control plus, I'll usually work at around 200%, with macros maybe 300%. And then you use these scroll bars here, left and right, or you can use your wheel to go up and down. But I'm going to go and just pull that over there. That's one. Two. And ultimately what I'm doing is I'm returning it to a rectangle. When it does it, sometimes you're going to get a really long rectangle, sometimes you'll get a real fat one, a short one, and then you'll resize it so that it's the right proportions. It doesn't matter what order you do these in, so long as you just grab the corners and not the edges of that. It's 3. 4. That one's already lined up. Okay. So then I just hit the Enter button, or if I hit this, I'll say, yeah, crop. And then I'm going to say Image, Size, and I don't want this to be checked. There's this is to keep things in proportion. You don't want that checked. So you don't want it, if I did that and I changed it from this, both of these will change as I do it. I want that unchecked, so I'm going to say that you were 8.5 by 11. I'll put it at 300 resolution, dots per inch. That's excessive. But I'd rather go to a higher resolution. Memory's cheap these days. I'd usually go to a higher resolution rather than a lower one. So if I take a look at that now, Control 0, there is, so this is how it looked more or less, but this is the going to be the right eye image. Now I've changed it to that. At this point in time, it's probably a good idea to save this image. I usually don't. I just wait till the end, unless I had a power outage or something. But whatever the case, a smarter person than me would probably save this image, do the same thing here and save this. So now we're going to do the same on this side. It doesn't matter which corner you start in. You're just going to drag from one to another. And again, this is the perspective crop tool, which in modern versions of Photoshop looks like this. One of the cool things about the perspective crop tool is suppose suppose you're a painter. You've done all these paintings and they're rectangular and they're framed and whatever, but you photograph them and they look kind of oblong or they're not really nice. You use this tool and you're going to get nice rectangles to put in a catalog of your paintings or to put them online. So it's a very useful tool. I'm going to go Control plus a few times so as I can do a finer crop. Let's see, I've got to drag this over here. Let's find those corners now.
Have you ever tried to use like the magic lasso tool or something? Because in this case, the background's all pretty much the same color.
You know, I haven't, but it's a good, why don't we try it on another one? Let's see what happens. I don't even know exactly what the magic lasso tool is supposed to do, but it's always great to learn some new things from people that know areas of Photoshop that I've never learned. So we'll give that a try.
I'm just saying, there's so many.
Can everybody hear Barry all right? Can you turn the volume up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really speaking well into the mic. If you, okay, yeah, I'm pretty loud and obnoxious to begin with, so. Okay, so I've got all four corners. If I look at it like so, and I could hit enter, and so in this case it comes out kind of fat, image, size, and again, this, once this isn't selected to keep them the same proportions, it stays that way. So 8.5 by 11 at 300. Okay.
Is the 8.5 by 11 because of the paper size?
Because that's the size of the sheet of paper I'm using. Yeah, so essentially keeping it the same proportions there. Whoop, get back here. Photoshop does some weird things, grabs things, and it doesn't necessarily do it the way you want it to. Come on. Okay, and now this will be a left-right image. I don't know too many people that can free view that. Jim McManus, I think, can. I think he's the only human being I know who is actually able to free view large stereo.
Barry, is that a challenge? Because I want to try.
Okay, so here we have it now. And those of you who can cross-eye view, there it is. Okay, so for the sake of it, let's make an anaglyph of this. And I'll put them back to, it doesn't really matter, which direction we do them in. That's all the same. When I first got into 3D, I asked Ray Zone how to make an anaglyph out of stereo pair, and he showed me. And you need your channels window, and in both images you choose that you want to work in red, but you can see RGB. You come here, work in red, see RGB. I come to this one, say, and I'm going to say select all. For whatever reason, you have to choose that. And then I'm going to use my move tool and drag this red channel and effectively cover up. If I held the shift key down, it would pop it right into place since they're the same size. So now you should be seeing an anaglyph of that.
Wow, that's very simple.
And that works. Okay. So that's a second example, and it's really pretty simple. Ultimately, again, we've taken out the effects of perspective. Ideally, you're going to print this out, or you're going to view it on a tablet or your cell phone and lay it flat and look at it from an angle instead of from the 90 degrees we're seeing here. Okay, thank you all for coming, and I hope you had some fun.
Now that we have had the rice, the flowers, the nuts,
is tied. Why, I can visualize such happy hours close by your side. The honeymoon in store is one that you'll adore. I'm gonna take you for a ride. I'll go home and pack my clothes. You go get your these and those, and away we'll go. On off we're gonna shuffle, shuffle off to Buffalo. To Niagara in a sleeper, there's no honeymoon that's cheaper, and the train goes slow. On off we're gonna shuffle, shuffle off to Buffalo. Someday the stork may pay a visit and leave a little souvenir, just a little cute. What is it? But we'll discuss that later, dear. For a little silver quarter, we can have the Pullman porter turn the lights down low. On off we're gonna shuffle, shuffle off to Buffalo.